Hello, yes, this is Star Trek Watch Along, where we watch Star Trek along together, hypothetically. So today, The Last of Us Episode 8 comes out in 6 hours, so hopefully everyone's going to watch that. Should be good. Yeah, I don't really know where it's going to go, because I didn't play the game. But, it seems good so far. But in Star Trek terms, we're doing... What are we doing? Pathfinder with Lieutenant Broccoli. Everybody loves him. Even... Maybe not the TNG crew. Most of the TNG crew doesn't love him, in fact. But don't worry about that. Fairhaven, which is an episode about the Irish. It's an Irish stereotype episode, but it's nowhere near the level of Africa stereotype episode from TNG. So, Fairhaven's actually fun to watch. It's actually good, where the other one was not. And then Blink of an Eye, which is the quintessential Star Trek episode. It's basically perfect. Blink of an Eye is the episode where the planet goes really fast through time, and they have to watch the rise of a civilization. It's really good. 10 out of 10, really fun to watch. And it's also quintessential Star Trek in that the end of it, the very end, leaves some massive story gaps. It doesn't make any sense. There's some huge problems. But it's still a 10 out of 10 episode. I love it. Everybody loves it. Blink of an Eye is one of the... In fact, let me look up... I want to look up a list of highest rated Star Trek episodes, because I'd be willing to bet Blink of an Eye is like top 3. Highest rated Star Trek Voyager, that is. Let's see. Caretaker, Eye of the Needle. Okay, yeah, that one was good too. Dreadnought, Mortal Coil, really? Okay, this is a dumb list. They put Mortal Coil above Tinker Tailor Dr. Spy. How do you... Can you sort by rating on IMDb? You probably can, right? Okay, sorted by IMDb ratings, the #1 top-rated episode is Blink of an Eye. Because it's perfect. It's so good. And then Scorpion, because 7 of 9. Living Witness, #4. #3 if you count Scorpion as one episode instead of a 2-parter. But yeah, really good episodes today. Pathfinder's really good.
Yeah.
We get to see some Starfleet. Fairhaven's really good, even though it's stereotyping the Irish. Blink of an Eye, apparently, according to IMDb ratings, is a 9 out of 10. But, 10 out of 10. So how about the weather?
The weather, didn't actually see any of the weather today, so imagine it's
Still there?
cold. Yeah.
Cool. Blink of an Eye. Wait, what would we do with another 12 minutes in Blink of an Eye? Why do we need another 12 minutes? Because, the problems with the ending of the episode for me, that don't bother me at all, actually, it's fun to think about, is, the fact that if they just hung around for, another 12 minutes, then, if you mean in that sense, if Voyager hung around for another 12 minutes in their time frame, the planet could have just, brought them home super easy. Not a problem. It's probably best not to introduce that kind of time acceleration, because then there are so many questions about what happened to them. Did they all immediately die out, or are they just suddenly the most technologically advanced species in the entire universe?
Right. Maybe they just become the Q when they're more advanced, but they're a problem.
They are the Q. You solved it. Honestly, that might make sense.
Huh?
I don't know. It's weird. Anything else we need to talk about before we start? I don't think so. Everyone queue up. Should be good. Oh, apparently the Barkley episode, the Doctor violates medical ethics again, so that's fun. He's not even reprogrammed this time. That's just him.
Great.
The aftermath of this story in the Orville. I mean, I watched the first 2 seasons of the Orville. I don't remember. What I do remember is that you should press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. I should rewatch the first 2 seasons. I kind of barely remember it.
Third season's good. It's yeah, a departure, of course, but
Honestly, I watched the first 2 episodes of the latest season, and then I just kind of forgot about it because I got busy and never went back. Wow. Wait, they're bringing back old fan favorite Star Trek characters? This is pandering to the audience. This is what kind of nostalgia bait is this? This isn't my Star Trek. Don't say chocolate Reg, I swear to God. God, Reg, God, come on, man.
And here we already
Weird
know.
Reg.
We already know something's up.
I mean, based on the fact that he's able to say literally any words to her without going into a panic attack, that's
That
he's
too.
making progress. Still, still Barkley.
Right.
This, I mean, I feel Barkley here on the unpacking thing. So, okay, look, this is unrelated to Star Trek, but it's a, like 2 years ago on Halloween's. People come up to the door, they knock, you open the door, you give them stuff, and then they leave. One kid came up to the door, looked around my front room, and was like, "What, did you just move in? Why is there no stuff in here?" It's like, come on, no, I've lived here for like 3 years. Leave me alone.
Kids.
Now, to be fair to me, the reason that room is empty is because that's a dedicated VR space, so it's naturally just
Of course.
empty, so you can move around.
Yeah. I tried to have that for a little bit for like half of one room, but in a crowded London apartment. Didn't that last?
Ah. Maybe if you just lived in wide open America.
Yeah, it would help.
Also, gross. In the future, they don't care about such things.
I do love the fact that Data has a cat named Spot.
That's a dog's name. He can't do that.
It's adorable.
Neelix is... Spot, rather, is a very confusing cat. Is Spot
Right.
evil? Like, Spot mauls multiple members of the crew.
Oh,
Spot was the real villain the whole time. Could you assimilate a cat? Spot of Borg? Horrifying. But yeah, I have to imagine that Neelix, real Neelix, would he be disturbed? I would guess he would be disturbed by this. Like a man who is like, oh,
Bully.
who's a good boy, Neelix?
Yeah,
No, you don't. Actually, I don't think you say that to a cat. I don't know. I don't have as much experience. Do you tell cats they're good boys?
I do.
Is that a thing?
Cat's
Okay.
good kitty. But they don't say good boy, but
No. Okay. Deanna's not
yeah.
gonna eat the ice cream, is she? There's no way.
I don't know why. Why are we more interested in dogs' genders than cats' genders?
Wait, what?
We don't say that's a good boy to a cat
Oh, okay.
or good
I
girl.
thought you said women aren't interested in
No, why am I
dog
not
genders.
interested?
It's like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or at least we don't think they're interested in their own gender, maybe.
I mean, for me, it's harder to tell with a cat what gender they are.
That's true. That might be it.
And besides, all cats are female, all dogs are male. That's how it works.
Eh,
Cats are just female dogs.
Not entirely without merit.
Might be a little without merit. Oh god, look at that chunky laptop. It's like 3 inches thick. 3 inches thick on each side. It's unfolded right now. It's oh boy. Is it the 2000s yet? I feel like it's like 2001.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh no, December 1st, 1999 is the air date. We're not there yet. Just start at the beginning, Reg. There we go. Is it... Wait, is it just me or are those buildings out the window kind of slanted? I think that... Wait, is this... Are those green screen windows or is this an actual apartment?
Good question.
Also, is that the same apartment from Battlestar Galactica?
Ah,
What... What are you doing, Reg? I... It's certainly a better nickname than Broccoli. Reg works. Admiral Paris, he's the father of Ensign convicted traitor Thomas Eugene Paris on the Starship Voyager. He's a main character. Deep Space Nine? Is that nostalgia bait in my Star Trek referencing just
no.
previous Star Trek shows to make them think they watched the previous shows? Disgusting. How dare they? Wait, what's the name of the array? It's the
I didn't.
Midas array.
Uh,
Oh my god, they have those alien technology control spheres now.
uh,
Wow, Starfleet's gone through some major upgrades since Voyager's been gone. Oh no, if we tell the Admiral he could talk with his son, we could get so much funding. Wait. How does this work?
right. Uh,
Oh, come on.
yeah.
Half thought through harebrained schemes. That's all Starfleet does, man. It's in the treaty. It's in the charter.
Yeah. It's their whole bag.
Oh, and there in the background, apparently, is the most used sci-fi prop in the universe with those red lights going off and on.
Nice. What else uses it?
It's not something that I've ever noticed, but other people in the Discord have like commented about it, how it's used in like every single sci-fi franchise that exists.
Nice.
Hey guys.
Hi. Poor Pete is trying so hard. Wait, you want him to... It's the middle of the night, dude. You don't have coffee in the middle. What's wrong with you, Pete?
I think
Does Barkley really look like he needs coffee right now?
Barkley is so wrapped up in his work. that like his boss his boss is trying to set him up with his like sister-in-law. Like, just go on a date. Just go outside, man. Just do anything besides work. I care about you, you know?
Ooh, dramatic voiceover. Just in case we forgot, he's supposed to be telling this to Deanna, including the part about talking about his cat to his boss. No, bad Rich. No. Don't go it.
How does this person still have holodeck privileges? It's like, you know, giving somebody casino passes when they have a gambling addiction.
Reg's his simulation of the ship has the Maquis still in their Maquis outfits. Oh no.
And it makes sense if it's the only thing he knows about them. That some of them were Maquis, and why wouldn't he program them that way?
But like, because they have reports from Voyager, right? They at one point contacted, and they sent like through a bunch of reports. So I guess Janeway didn't mention the giving them Starfleet commissions bit
through the Hirogen data network.
Also, it's weird to see Reg being all confident. Yes, look how amazing I am. I'm so masculine, while he has a cup of warm milk.
What are you saying?
He's acting so masculine and confident. At the same time, he just has a lovely cup of warm milk at the side to help him sleep.
Oh.
Now, this is not the violation of medical ethics. This is regular medical.
So in Next Generation, when he has holo addiction, it's because he simulates his coworkers because he doesn't get the respect of his peers. And that's why he has to like be the one who
he does the thing where you're in the shower and you win all your arguments, except he's doing it on a holodeck.
So the thing is, though, here he doesn't do it because he wants the respect of his peers. He does it because he doesn't have any friends, and it's even worse. Like, your friends are the people you've never met.
Holographic friends are just as good.
Look, like, it's like Rose and Jack from Titanic are like my best friends. It's like it's just a you need to move beyond fiction. Well, not fictional, but just, you know, me loving characters on the Titanic. Real characters.
Don't tell me what to do.
You know, you're never gonna meet them. I don't know. It's weird. Or you know that plane that disappeared over Malaysia, Indonesia, MH.
Does that relate to Star Trek? Where's this going?
I'm just saying, though, it's like me falling in love with like the people who were on that plane. It's like, what is? I mean, anyway. Yeah, so he's everybody's best friend. And you don't have any best friends in real life. But there's nothing wrong with staying home.
He's everyone's friend. He's the best engineer on the ship. He's the best at hoverball. He's the best at Parisi squares. He's the best at everything. The little secret is he's cheating. You're programmed to love him, Tom. You don't exist.
It's like he's reliving that moment in my favorite episode of all time, The Nth Degree, where he's getting smarter and smarter, and then he has to like hook himself up to the ship's computer.
Also, this projection is going to be so far off. It's off by like 20,000 light years because they've had their, like every season, they have at least one giant jump.
Yeah, 10 years,
through completely unpredictable sources.
Yeah.
Most recently, it was the quantum catapult.
Right, and then there was Kess also. Kess
So this,
shaped
yeah,
10 years.
no, there's no way they have any idea where Voyager is.
So, I gotta say, first of all, I love this scene, but I also like this scene because, look, your boss isn't listening to you, and you're gonna jump over him to go right to the admiral because your idea is just that crazy it might work.
God, you're
It's
so
like,
getting fired, Barkley.
you can't shut me up. You're not gonna shut me up. And by the way, obviously, Admiral Paris is Tom Paris's father, so the man has a vested interest in even
Yeah,
hearing out a
he's
crackpot
just
theory.
traumatizing a man. That's all Barkley's doing here. Also unrelated, what's that thing behind Barkley?
Wow, it looks
It
like
has like giant handles on it. What?
it looks like when you put the lunch trays back at the counter, and then there's a garbage over it.
Don't no, Reg. God.
By the way, he's also like sweating. People are laughing in the background. he
No, there's not, Admiral. He's making things up.
We already saw the scene where Harry Kim is trying to explain himself to the admiral for some future Harry Kim, right?
Oh, wrong move, Reg. You don't get to say that to Admiral Paris. But, I mean, is he really his son? Because his son was convicted of treason, so, I mean, who cares?
Yes, and you're a high-ranking admiral, so you disown that son the moment your son betrayed the
He's dead
Starfleet.
to me.
He is, because, like, you're supposed to follow in my shoes, not work for the enemy.
Also, we've seen Admiral Paris before, and he did not look at all like this. Who's this guy?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's the Admiral Paris from now on. First appearance of Deanna, right?
What was the question?
On
This is the
Voyager,
first
yeah.
appearance of Deanna on Voyager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not her last.
No, certainly not. But really well done, by the way, because we get to see her do the therapist role. And actually, we never saw her do this in TNG so in depth that she does it here.
Okay, I've decided this is not a real apartment. That's totally a green screen city.
She's a great
It doesn't
therapist
look
here.
right.
She never shows any actual ability to help.
Rude.
She's like, I just sense that you're feeling anger. Do you want to do something constructive
Isn't
with
that
it?
all therapists do anyway?
Work with some clay. It'll make you feel better. So, really funny thing. I saw that when the original plan after Star Trek, the original series, was to do Star Trek Phase 2, and I think Spock was supposed to be in that. But they had this character who became Ileana from Motion Picture, and they had this character who was Decker, who became Decker from the Motion Picture, and they knew each other before, but now one's a first officer, one's an exotic alien beauty, and they have a fling kind of past, and then they get involved with each other. That becomes Riker and Troy. They reuse the same Imzadi. Imzadi really comes from Decker and Ileana, or their prototype in Phase 2. But
I mean, the whole Riker, Deanna, Imzadi thing is substantially less creepy than the Ileana thing.
yeah, but see, the music though, okay, yes, fine. Maybe it's a little bit creepy compared to our cinematics.
It's super
today.
creepy, dude.
But
motion
the
picture
music
is so weird.
The music is so nice, though. It's so romantic that, like, okay, yes, they merge as man and machine, whatever that is. But
She got murdered by a space probe.
you can totally tell that that's supposed to be Riker and Troy's music as well. Oh wow, he really needs the respect of his peers still. I don't think Janeway has ever told any of her crew, "You've outdone yourself this time." 7. Bolano.
Barclay, this is so unprofessional. You don't get to do this in engineering.
You know what though? He just gets in his element, and he is actually like a very brilliant scientist. So like they used to joke that Einstein has to sit in
Oh,
the bath.
okay. No, Barclay. Right now, I feel like Barclay's probably contemplating suicide.
Yeah, this is not allowed.
That's gotta hurt.
He's done a few things. But look,
Didn't look like you were working.
He's so brilliant. Like I'm saying, if Einstein did his best work soaking in the bathtub for 3 hours, then let him soak to his heart's content.
There's a story from the U.S. Civil War about Ulysses Grant, where all the other generals were kind of trash, and Ulysses Grant was like the first one to actually start winning major battles. They're like, President, he just started throwing men at the end. He can't do that. He's being he's being reckless. And he's drinking all the time. He commands drunk. It's like, well, what does he like to drink? Then give him more of it.
Like, he is just brilliant, and he's getting in trouble. It kind of reminds me of what I was saying last week about genius, like 7 schizophrenia. Genius and insanity, there's like a really thin line, and it's kind of hard to tell when someone's bat shit crazy, pardon the language, or making more sense than we know.
So Barclay just said he's working an extra 20 to 30 hours a week in the holodeck, and Pete here is like, dude, that's so you gotta take a break, you gotta take time off. I appreciate Pete's dedication to work-life balance here. Not that Barclay has a life to balance.
Yeah.
It's true.
No, he's right.
Like, I have multiple people in the place I work who work way longer hours than that. People really need to take breaks. You can't just...
No, you can't. Work or play, by the way. You can't play also for like 60 hours at a time. But he mentions before that his holodiction, and he says, look, you've relapsed because all your friends are now 60,000 light years away from home.
Oh my god, Barclay's actually standing up to a real person.
But look, this is just another obsession. You have a history of being a little bit OCD, and you're not listening to anyone or anything.
Maybe we could get Barclay to do even better engineering if we gave him a rapier. What if we had him and Pete duel?
My boss told me that once. I never worked overtime again.
You need to get authorized for overtime. You can't just show up.
Yeah. But you don't have to
Why does the Admiral have a tube? Why does he have a tube with red flecks in it? Oh, look, proof that Nicholas Locarno and Tom Paris are the same person. That is a screenshot from the TNG episode of Nicholas Locarno.
Oh.
That is not a Voyager screenshot.
Look at that. Look at that.
It's not like the Admiral was doing anything anyway.
I think Paramount owes some money to that TNG writer. You're jumping over your commander again.
Are they going to do the real Star Trek trope where Pete finds out and is like, you better not do that again or I'll bust you down to crewman? Because that happens multiple times throughout Star Trek. Well, Commander Harkins is a big dummy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Once again, Nicholas Sicarno.
That's definitely a TNG square.
You can tell because he looks substantially younger, for one. And two, the uniform just looks different.
The cadet uniform is totally from
the uniform
TNG.
and the hair.
Yeah. Even the way his sideburns are cut, it's never done that way in Voyager.
Barkley has totally lost me. He said the Voyager. Can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love that. That's what convinced him. Like, oh my God, will you get Barkley out of what's left of my hair?
Yeah.
Barkley, just take it. That's a win. That's the best you're gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, you've already been verified as making holograms of people without their consent.
Barkley, do you want to give him like a little time to actually review it before you start freaking out? Come on, man. It's been like 20 minutes.
But they look great in the future uniforms, the contemporary.
The DS9 ones.
First Contact.
When was the last time you slept, Reg?
Yeah.
DS9 was still on air, probably wrapping up at this point.
No, I don't think it was. Not this far into Voyager. It's season 6, Voyager, right?
Let me see when they overlap.
I'll look up Deep Space Nine final season. Okay, What You Leave Behind aired May 31st, 1999.
And this is December 1st, 1999.
Okay,
Closer than I thought it was.
So they're close.
They're still, but I'm saying DS9 was in its last season because that's the last episode, so it's still running. So, like I said,
Well,
we were
it's
at
not
that was
right
May.
now.
This is December.
Yeah, so DS9 ended. Oh, okay, sorry.
7 months ago.
My brain is a little bit. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Mr. Studios. You survived.
I did.
the Dominion War is over.
Is it?
Well, there's the faction.
But we can't talk about that. So, how about that Star Trek Voyager?
Well, we don't want to start the war all over again.
Star Trek Vija.
God.
So
I don't get what you see in the motion picture. I don't get it. It's like my least favorite movie I've ever seen, not just of Star Trek.
It really is so slow, and you can see why it didn't do well at the
Nothing
box
happens
office.
for like 2 hours.
But
it feels like they were like, "Oh, 2001.
Yeah,
that's a movie. Let's do that."
but when you
I didn't
when
like
you
2001 either.
but okay, so when you think about it, though, that movie has a motifs that show up in so many other Star Trek movies. From like the whale people, the probe coming towards Earth is the same thing.
Whales, Mr. Scott, whales.
When they steal the ship from Space Dock. Yeah. And I was just mentioning that Riker and Deanna are really Decker and Ileana, with the same music and everything. It's just, like we knew each other, and now we're here again.
Deanna wasn't murdered and possessed by a robot.
And you are.
Well, there was a bit of like, mind stuff.
Hey, they actually have half an idea of operational security around here.
This isn't my Star
They
Trek.
actually canceled the credentials of someone who was fired. That almost never happens in fiction, much less Star Trek.
The thing, he
That
wasn't.
never happens in Star Trek.
Starfleet is so employee friendly. He's not even fired. They just put him on leave because, like, dude, you have to take time off. That's so unhealthy, Reg.
Yeah.
Look, hang on, guys. Realistically, though, right? If somebody's on the verge of curing cancer or discovering faster than light travel or whatever, fusion, whatever we need, right? And they're working themselves nearly to death, like
and they're
Mozart.
exhausted and not thinking straight, and their decision making is questionable.
Yeah, okay, but I mean, what I'm saying is though, this we're almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah, but we almost are.
It'll still be almost there in a couple days.
Maybe I would order
the research
them,
isn't going to deteriorate if he takes a little break.
I
It's
would
okay.
order them 6 hours of sleep, but if you want to work 18 hours towards something like this, I think that genius. Mozart didn't finish his last work. We had to have somebody.
If they actually knew he was onto something, then that might be one thing. But as far as they know, he's the crackpot right now. And most crackpots are crackpots.
In fact, how many... They said at the start of the episode, it was like, Reg, we've already tried plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. They tried like 20 things, 20 of his ideas, and none of them worked. It's like, come on, just...
Yeah, and he's like, I'm refining it. Yeah. But
they gave him multiple chances.
It just takes a little bit of know-how. No, but actually, if you don't have sleep, then you start making like mistakes, and like
yes, I'm aware.
The less sleep you have, the more mistakes you make, and the more catastrophic they become.
Which is why we need to force Barclay to take not paid time off because it's Starfleet, but just regular time off.
Yeah. That's a valid enough point, though. Actually, I remember.
Shoot him, Pete. Shoot him.
During 9/11, President Bush.
I may disappear, but I'll be back.
See you.
Okay.
So during 9/11, President Bush, after like a long day, of like a lot of emotional and stress and trauma, he said, I need to go to sleep, and like he got in.
Are you telling me George Bush is a human who has biological needs?
Yeah, but I'm saying so like he really knew that he had to prioritize his sleep because even though the world
telling me a story about George W. Bush is going to be a good way to give me draw up, parallels to someone I like.
Okay.
But have you seen his paintings though?
Famously, alternative careers as painters doesn't do much to redeem someone necessarily.
Okay,
so he's
what
hiding
if
in the holodeck
opens the holographic doors and vents them into holographic space? God, Discovery did it like once, but we need more venting people into space. It's such a good strategy. It always works.
Yeah.
In Star Trek, they
except
try.
One time with 7.
They
one
never
time
actually do it. They never actually. I think like it takes a lot to do the effect where someone's being sucked into space.
Well, not that much. It takes a cable and a harness.
Yeah, and the air blowing. You need a big fan.
Yeah.
Wow, safety protocols actually worked for once in the franchise's history.
No way.
This isn't my Star Trek. Do safety protocols include blunt force trauma?
Yeah, they should.
Could Tuvok punch somebody and it just wouldn't affect them, or
Yeah. I mean, presumably.
He's like totally disregarding the Maquis.
so if you shoot a real phaser at a holographic person, it doesn't holographically make them pretend to die. It destabilizes the matrix.
Or something.
The photon grid.
That's a difficult question to answer.
It's not a real ship, Reg.
So,
That's pretty smart, though. It's a good. How come we never figured that out? Like, just nuke the simulation, and it's
They
over.
do that a couple times in Voyager, but not so much in the other series.
How do we do that in the Irish village? There's not enough firepower to do a warp core breach.
Reg, it's just a simulation.
yeah,
Alright.
you can just start it back up again.
So they are physically that close together in the holographic space.
Yeah.
Not always,
But-
but yeah.
Does it make sense when they're all the way down below in engineering and he's all the way above in the bridge, on the bridge?
Like if Barkley was down in like the little pit on the bridge where it just descends like a foot, would the holodeck just like move him up a foot to match the height level of?
Yeah,
How does this work?
Must be. And then when you have multiple players going on, that's a whole different thing as well, you know? Difficult enough to project a worldview of a single player.
Oh my god, it's working.
So, the first experiment that Einstein predicted, the solar eclipse, would prove relativity. Like, we should know where a star is, and he could tell you the exact angle. Whoever took the picture or did the measurements was probably careless. And so his first discovery, was that, like, well,
Why would that have been
Einstein's-
careless?
well, because the first picture of the eclipse that Einstein predicted, they said it didn't prove his relativity. And Einstein was like, yeah, take another one. In like 2 years, we have another eclipse at another observatory. Take a picture there and check those numbers.
I mean, that's not reckless. That's just propaganda. That's not. You're
Well-
taking another photo of an eclipse, which they're awesome. You can't take too many photos of eclipses.
Yeah. Well, whatever. What I'm saying is, though, sometimes like a person has a crazy theory, like Newtonian physics isn't our ultimate reality. There's actually a fabric of space-time, and gravity is like a function of bending the space-time, mass bending it. Then
Unrelated to that, but related to what just happened in Star Trek. So the bit where Paris comes in is like, "Ah, yes, I've reviewed your things, and we're gonna do it." Where Barclay was paranoid, it's like, "Oh no, he's just telling me that he's an evil admiral. He's going crazy. He's not gonna help his son." It reminds me of Lower Decks when there have been multiple episodes about like, "Oh, we don't know that Starfleet's actually gonna do anything to help. We can solve the problem right here, right now." And then the end of the episode, it's like, "No, Starfleet solved it. They're fine. They got it. Don't worry."
Yeah.
the crazy thing
Don't
is,
have to go.
Reg
right.
promised two-way communication with Voyager.
I feel like we should give the communication task over to someone who can talk faster.
Hey, does micro wormhole become portal technology?
Nah. That's
Okay.
ridiculous.
So, you gotta love the episode when the Ferengi hijack this communication system to like send fake Barkley messages.
And I believe the solution in that episode is also just blow up the ship. The fake ship. Or maybe that's a different episode. I don't know. There's an episode where Reginald. God, who's Reginald? There's an episode where Barkley is fake and he's trying to like persuade the doctor that he's fake. And so the doctor needs to blow up the ship. It's a whole thing. Barkley shows up a surprising amount.
You know, this is really sweet because, you know, prisoners can be reformed, and you can just see how much shame the admiral must have felt when his son became a convicted traitor
Tell that to the American prison system.
and a convicted terrorist, by the way. Well, collaborator with terrorists. So now, when Janeway says he's a good officer,
I bet Starfleet still sends convicted terrorists to I was going to say Guantanamo Bay, except they don't send convicted terrorists to Guantanamo Bay. They send people there without trial. But yeah, I bet they still send people to Guantanamo Bay, except Guantanamo Bay in the future is just like a vacation spot.
Yeah. Lovely Cuba.
Nice resort. Do some surfing.
So the U.S. only has a 99-year lease on it. It will end at some point.
I mean,
In like the 50s, they signed it, like right before the regime.
Oh,
fell.
there's the violation of medical ethics. The doctor just openly discussed this man's medical records with the captain for no good reason, when he didn't even have any reason to look up his medical records.
We didn't have HIPAA back then.
We don't have HIPAA in... God, what year is it? 2380s something?
76. I like how we know the real year of the episode, but not the start date or the.
Well, because stardate 43976.2. Actually, I think that's a real stardate. I think that's used in a TNG episode.
Yes, sounds like the first one. I like the apartments. I like New York, Paris, or Federation headquarters, wherever. This is San Francisco, actually. I like Barclay got to have the respect of his peers again. Hopefully he'll make some friends.
You wouldn't know her. She goes to another academy.
And which Halo program did you get her from?
yeah.
That's my next question. Oh God!
Okay,
Not
who's
another
ready
holiday.
for Ireland?
No, not another holiday episode, please.
It's such a good holodeck episode. I love Fairhaven.
No, I do too. It's just the people got so quarrelsome. It's kind
We
of
get to delete the wife.
Yes.
It's not even unethical because she doesn't exist.
You don't even have to go to the church for an annulment. But
I can see the appeal of getting a holographic boyfriend, especially in Janeway's case, because you don't have any of the messy actual relationship stuff. You just get to do whatever you want. It works out. You have a fight? No, you didn't. Alter the program. Screw it.
It's like
That's going to be the main point of the episode: is she shouldn't alter the program. But anyway, you should press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
I want a mate that's not as conscientious about my messy habits. Just change the
Ooh,
the
tobacco.
OCD.
A tobacco shop. Lovely. Now, I know it's going to be tempting, but we need to try to resist doing Irish accents.
Yeah.
This episode's already stereotyping enough.
Somebody once told me that when you say top of the morning, it means you're already drunk.
That sounds apocryphal.
Okay.
Hey, isn't
I
that
don't know. We
the
don't
guy from
have any.
Office Space?
What?
He's a really common actor.
I've seen memes of this guy indicating he's the guy from Office Space. I think it was not from this episode the names came from, but the jump to conclusions guy.
This is the most Irish Irishman I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Also, I like how Tom did exactly one line in an Irish accent and then immediately went back to American. Thank God he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would sound. I mean, you don't want to sound like the Lucky Charms commercial. And also, by the way,
The scenery.
there's many different kinds of Irish accents. You could tell from like Dublin or Northern Ireland.
So, one of the downsides of having a Star Trek channel is when Tom Paris says things like, "Oh, word to the wise." My immediate thought is, "Oh yeah, I use that line in my cut of the Star Trek characters telling the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise."
So,
Okay,
speaking
okay.
of the church, I love that the Doctor is the priest.
It's gotta. How would you feel if you like wrote a book and someone told you that they literally fell in love with one of the characters, like romantic feelings? They made
That'll
a
be weird.
because that's
People do that,
basically what's
definitely.
happening with Tom here. Tom made a character, and Harry is falling in love with her. She doesn't exist, and the captain's gonna fall in love with one of the characters he wrote for like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So, in Westworld, the main heroine, they have to the AI robots. They have to break out of the amusement park that the humans have like created them for, and now they're sentient, so they're killing all the humans. And so her boyfriend doesn't have the cruelty needed to like kill everybody to escape and leave with all the other robots from the park. So she reprograms him, and he does whatever he has to do, mow people down and all that. But at the end, he's like, you changed me, Dolores, and like it's not who I am. So he takes the gun and he puts it to his own head, and he takes his own life. But there's it's very they don't explore it in this Voyager thing when Janeway reprograms her boyfriend. But I think it's very interesting, the idea that a person can be like, well, you mess with my programming, and I'm not me anymore.
Would a hologram be offended if you mess with its program? I guess it would only be offended if you programmed it to be offended. So you could just
True.
delete that part of the programming where it's offended that you deleted parts of its programming.
True.
Which I don't think is how programming works, not in my experience, but I'd be concerned if Janeway starts deleting parts of Sullivan's program and he just starts like crashing. Can't just delete parts.
Yeah, but no, you were hinting at it before though. It's like, just because like it's not a healthy way to approach relationships, to think that like, yeah, I'll just make you less bossy.
Wait, which one's the fifth commandment? I don't know my commandments.
I only know the first one. I'm the Lord thy God, thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Okay, I just looked it up. The fifth commandment is honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land. Blah 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 blah. So honor your parents. What? So what did he do? What does that mean?
Like, was rude to his parents.
My God, that's a new main character.
Written by Robin Berger. I think
Harry,
they
he
should
doesn't
have.
exist. He's programmed to be as strong as he wants. It doesn't matter. Come on, Liam. Congratulations, Harry. You beat a simulation of a man. You're so good at Arm Wrestling Simulator 2376. Is she? Wait, have we heard that before? Janeway in Ireland?
No.
Like, I know she's a redhead, but that doesn't necessarily mean...
Ooh, no.
God, Tom, don't do the Irish accent. Stop it.
We.
Why is that panning shot such low frame rate?
It was weird.
They were rushed. They said it was neutron. So neutrons travel at exactly the speed of light. There's no.
No, that's very incorrect.
Oh, sorry.
You're thinking of neutrinos.
Neutrinos. Sorry. Never mind.
No, they don't either. They have mass.
They travel near the speed of light.
Yeah.
I think neutrinos were the thing that people thought tachyons were before they figured out no, tachyons don't exist. As with many things, pretty much all things, the vast majority of things that look like, oh, wow, something's traveling faster than the speed of light. Something broke the laws of physics. No, it's just an experiment error, measurement error.
That is the speed limit of the universe. So, like, because quantum entanglement is faster, than light. It's instantaneous, but it can't be used to transmit information.
It cannot.
So again, however relevant something is that like, well, you can't transmit information faster than light either, unfortunately.
So on the subject of holograms being sentient and maybe the implications of Janeway's relationship coming up, what if we told the computer, create an Irishman capable of defeating the Doctor? How do we create sentient holograms? Because the computer knows how. And Voyager's supposed to be even smarter than the Enterprise.
Yeah, and you could tell from the last scene, the guys listening to everything they're saying about neutron storms, wavefronts.
Yeah. Usually holograms are programmed to ignore talk about real life, but I guess not in this case. Though, Neelix said the owner of the pub is going to share some of his recipes, but surely those recipes just come from the computer, so there's nothing to share. Because this man doesn't exist. He's just the database.
Later, when they turn on them, they're like, you guys are just traveling through our town, and now you've turned it upside down. Like, they hate the Voyager crew. But yeah, there's no holodeck safeguards. Like, at some point, they all become sentient and create major problems.
I'm trying to figure out if Janeway is actually Irish in any way. But apparently Kate Mulgrew can do a near-perfect Irish accent, so that's fun. But she doesn't do it here, so what's the point? It's like her one chance. I also don't understand why Janeway's lying about her name. But okay.
They're magically delicious.
No, bad. We already have enough stereotypes. This is totally flirting, right? Not from Janet, from
Yeah.
Sullivan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we sure? Did we delete the cheating subroutines?
Yeah.
They both made Google eyes at each other at the beginning.
Multiple kinds of cheating.
Well, this is safer than darts, because darts you could put out someone's eye.
Does Janeway work out?
Yeah, this is ridiculous. But I mean, Harry can beat someone twice his size, so the holodeck's on easy mode today, I guess.
Oh, so she's cheating. Okay, that makes sense. Like Sullivan here, he looks like he works out. And Janeway's a scientist lady, and if we're stereotyping Irishmen, we might as well stereotype scientists. Scientists are, completely frail. They have zero muscle mass.
Mm.
I've seen a movie before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me to do 10 push-ups. Like,
What do you want to bet he's never heard of Swift because Swift hasn't been born at the time of the simulation?
Yeah.
Star Trek loves doing that. Freaking time travel episodes. It really is such a good thing that TNG created the holodeck because they would have
It is a
had
good
to
thing.
find a planet of Irish people,
yeah.
Right.
and
exactly.
they would have done it.
Well, we did have space Irish people though, right? With the
Yeah,
With
but at least
refugees.
they were they were Scottish for one, but they were at least in the Alpha Quadrant. This is the other side of the galaxy.
no. The space Irish people were the refugees from season 1.
Oh yeah, the SS
Yeah.
Mariposa. It's the
Yeah.
Spanish for butterfly.
Wow. Yeah, actually, you're the one. I never realized it before, but we did have space Irish and space Scottish people in Star Trek.
I think, yeah, TNG Space Irish episode was much sketchier than this Space Irish
Yeah,
episode.
this is very. That's what we would have to do
Yeah.
every time.
And this is these people established to be in the past. They're not just acting like it, even though they're hundreds of years in the
Country
future.
bumpkins.
Yeah.
I wonder if the actors in this episode are Irish. I would bet no.
Oh, so wait, he says here, Holodeck 2 is bigger, and therefore he could add a Seacoast. If they because remember they're running the program 24/7 now, which is probably helpful for the for the AI becoming out of control. Just make it run 24/7.
Okay, so I lost my bet. Sullivan is actually Irish.
Wow.
St. Patrick's Day. God, Doctor. What's the name of the dude who needs to say Hail Marys? Or Our Fathers or whatever? Do we know his name? Oh!
Sorry.
The old guy who's overweight who broke the fifth commandment.
Oh, yeah.
I just remembered he's also in an episode of Enterprise. He's Dr. Phlox's friend, whose name I don't remember. He almost gets murdered by augments. Okay, his name is Seamus. Now, who's his actor?
Get
Okay,
more
so
stereotypical.
Fifth Commandment guy and Harry's holographic girlfriend are not Irish. Fifth Commandment guy's from Wisconsin.
That after me Lucky Charms.
No, stop it. Can't take you anywhere.
But actually, so when American politics was getting boring after like 2020, I was watching British politics also around 2016.
That was definitely not getting boring.
Yeah, but after elections, it got a little boring. So
No, I know. No, but in Britain, yeah, no, I agree.
right. So then I started watching British politics because they were really getting very their Wednesday prime minister's questions and the speaker of the house and all that very very rambunctious. So but then when that got slow, I started watching Scottish Parliament, and you can definitely tell like there's a difference between the Edinburgh accent and the Glasgow accent.
Oh yeah,
And also, so in Scotland and Ireland, the main difference, like especially compared to English, is they trill their R's. So bright,
yeah.
bright Brexit, so they will always they'll roll those R's in a way that the Queen's English, they skip it because it's a Rotic accent. Oh wow, you can just improve. Wow, you
No,
can add
they will
inches.
pronounce that R, but they wouldn't roll it. They don't pronounce R's after vowels. Those vowel. The burr comes on R's before vowels.
Well, I mean, I'm not. Like I said, I just picked up.
Wait. We have the line. Stand by.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Excellent. The episode's over. It's done.
So I just want to add like 6 inches to my lover's height, and
Only 3 centimeters. That's like 1 inch.
Just over
It's
an inch,
fine.
yeah.
It's
that's
fine.
an inch and a hair.
Right.
You can get that just by putting on shoes.
Uh-huh.
Did Neelix poison him again? No,
These,
maybe it's just because of where I live, but no, Fog's great, dude. Why do you hate
I
Fog?
mean, if it gets really thick, it's kind of dangerous.
Well, it's not like they're driving anywhere.
True.
The Fog's not gonna come get you. Harry, what are you doing?
What are Tom and Harry doing on the fishing boat?
Trolling Tuvok, I think. I think that's the only purpose.
Of course
Oh
it
god,
is.
Neelix, no, what's it gonna be? I swear, if there are potatoes, it better not be potato based.
The name of the establishment is the Ox and Lamb.
I mean, that does sound gross, yes. I don't know if I would want a meal that contains a bunch of actual blood.
Yeah,
Coagulated.
that
Are
seems
the
weird.
Irish Klingons?
Well, shepherd's pie.
Well, that makes it so. That makes the accent so tempting right now, but it's not.
So she is from Wisconsin, I believe.
The character's from Nebraska.
No, not Janeway.
Okay.
Three and a half kilalo. Wait, how do you pronounce any of that?
Yeah. Gaelic is the language of Ireland.
Although they
Um,
prefer the Irish government would prefer you call it Irish, actually, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if anyone actually does, but
People don't say Gaelic?
I think Irish
What
people
happened to
actually do, but the government wants to call it Irish.
It's interesting because Persian and Farsi, it's like the same language, but like you're supposed to use one over the other.
I mean, technically, Irish is just one of the Gaelic languages.
Yeah, I mean Scottish is Celtic too, right? Like so, it's a family of
It's a
Celtic.
Gaelic language, yeah.
I think you mean an Irish language?
Well, Welsh also, by the way, is Celtic.
Yeah.
Oh, not at all. I can't make fun of his accent. He's actually legitimately Irish, the actor.
True.
He's
True.
good.
He's the only one who's not faking it.
Now I'm definitely allowed to make fun of the lines that they gave him.
So as we see, Odell or Eau Claire is of Claire, and Mac Dougal would be the son of Dougal.
What about
So-
Oshag Hennessy?
Nice little village, though.
Shadowfax.
Does Tom turn a girl into a cow this episode?
Not this episode. That's Spirit Folk.
That's total mayhem. Okay. But there's nothing wrong with being a pig farmer.
Do you like me?
Oh,
You want to hang out?
is Chakotay the pig farmer?
Get it in the Spirit Folk.
Pigs are great to raise because whatever food you have left over, you just give it to the pig. So that's why people used to look down on pig farmers. Because, like, you could be poor and raise a pig.
It's an inside joke. Don't worry about it, Michael. It's fine.
Yeah, but yet again, the holiday characters.
They're hearing things they shouldn't under normal circumstances. They're already setting the stage. What was the word? I couldn't think of sowing the seeds or setting the stage or foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. Yeah.
They're foreshadowing the future breakdown.
It's funny because Discord originally it was made for gamers, and I've sometimes told people, "Hey, you're playing Sid Meier's Civilization 6," and he's like, "How do you know that?" And it's like, "Well,
Why would you just randomly say that to someone? Why would you?
Well, I was asking them how the game was because they were interrupting that to talk to me. But the thing is, though, so yes, the Discord is connected to your Steam, which is connected to your games, and therefore Discord knows what games you're playing. It advertises.
That's why you should always set yourself to invisible. Never show up as online.
It advertises what games you're playing, and it's like that. So that's how they're starting to figure out that Katie Eau Claire is not from the next town over.
What does that look, Janeway?
The seduction.
Chakotay, what are you implying?
I like that they give her a romantic plot. Like, I'm kind of like, I think
I like the subtitles here. Irish jig.
so. In the late '90s, Riverdance was like all the rage. People would go like in concert to see Irish step dancers.
To go see an Irish jig?
Yeah, no, but they would make You know what Riverdance is, Ryan?
Vaguely.
It's just step dancing. Like they make the entire music just from clapping their feet against the floor. Very cool, actually. You know, they used to have like tap. Do you know tap dancing from the 50s? Like I think the movie Annie featured it with Bojangles Robinson.
No, I do not.
Okay, but yet tap dancing was like all the rage in the 50s. They showed it in the black and white movies.
So this episode, I mean, basically nothing's happening in it. It has no story relevance at all. I'm wondering if this came out today, how people would feel about it.
Oh yeah,
Very
that
That pisses
controversial.
people off. I don't know why.
Very controversial.
It's
Yeah.
like there
Very
was a
annoying
Last
to
of
me
Us
that people
episode
insist
where
on that.
it didn't advance the story. It was just character building, and people got upset about it. It's like, why? What's up?
Yeah, you don't like characters, but
Well,
yeah, I don't know. I
here
hate that
they're building.
criticism of the passion.
They're building up to an arc. It's at least 3 episodes, right? This Fairhaven stuff.
It's 2 episodes, and the second episode is also nothing plot relevant happens.
I mean, they take over the ship.
They do not. They kidnap like 2 crew members, and they're 2 of the ones we don't care about. Tom and Harry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like it would be like poetic justice if they died on the holodeck program of their
The
own
2
creation.
crew members that have it coming. And the doctor, but he's fine. He gets out of it. Why is she looking so forlorn? Is she thinking about Mark?
That's the thing, though, right? She's never allowed herself to be in love.
What were those
And
books?
her
Also, she has totally
duty-
allowed herself to be in love. She has a fiance. What do you mean?
No, but I mean, since becoming a captain, or like
Since being stranded.
I guess. I don't think she loved Mark. I think like she loves the ship more. Like
She was literally getting married to him. What do you mean?
you know what I'm saying? I think just thinking about Beverly and Jean-Luc. It's like you were never gonna be there.
I think she loved Mark.
And
Her dog,
but
Molly.
captains love their ships, and like I thought about joining the Navy when I was unemployed for a while, and being away on a ship for like 6 months at a time, like a year at a time, it's hard to form relationships or build them with people on landlubbers. Seven's great. Here, I'll tell you
How
something.
did you get a job here, Neelix? Did you program yourself into a job? I don't believe he hired you based on your cooking skills. Oh, more glitch. So it's continuing to get sketchy. 2/3 of the way, well, 3/4 of the way through the episode.
Alcoholism. I mean, you took away his wife. He's gonna start drinking.
See, this is one of those things you can't just start randomly deleting bits of code from a program. You're gonna mess up other parts of it.
Yeah, there's no such thing as delete the wife.
Why is he in agony?
Oh wow, he's having an existential crisis. Oh, now it's time to get mad at the priest.
You don't even know her, Danny. Come on.
She reprogrammed you to think that. Sorry. This is even worse than the Q episode when you can snap your fingers and make someone fall in love with you.
He met a girl, and then she took a job in another city, and now he's sad.
I
Oh,
think
that's actually going to become relevant in like 5 minutes. Sleeping by the lake, maybe 10. The captain, the redhead. You've known her for 3 days, Danny. Come on. And don't worry about that, Danny. You're specifically programmed to be good enough for her. Do you guys love thy neighbors?
I don't know my neighbors very well.
the full quote is "Love thy neighbor as you love thyself."
What if you hate yourself? Do you get to hate your neighbors?
I would assume so.
I feel like I can find loopholes in this law.
So Michael Sullivan beat all three of them up. I like how the doctor's the only
White.
one who's like unscratched.
He's still wearing... Come on. You deleted his wife, Janeway. How's he gonna... Come on.
Yeah,
He had another lass.
Wait, he said he got on a tree.
Yeah, he met a girl, knew her for 3 days, and she went somewhere else. So he climbed up in a tree and started yelling her name.
So he had a complete psychotic break.
Is he gonna prescribe her a boyfriend?
I like how Janeway is acting like she doesn't even know what she did.
Confessions from holograms.
Yeah.
Oh, they had to stop here because they ran out of hallway, didn't they? Now they're gonna cut. Yep, okay. Good.
Thanks, Ryan, for ruining the
Well, it's...
immersion.
They do it so often where they have a long establishment shot, people are talking as they walk down a hallway, then they have to stop at some point and then cut. They only have so much hallway to work with.
Makes sense. And not
I'm
for
pretty
nothing,
sure they're close to the end of this one too. They're gonna have to stop soon.
I even look at Star Trek: The Motion Pictures hallways, and it's totally what made
God.
the Enterprise D. Yeah, like the same hallways, same structure.
Yep. The day by the beach is coming back.
Oh, so they do address the aspects of having a AI lover.
Yeah.
What just changes snoring habits.
This is why you should never play games on computer, because it's too easy to mod.
Yeah, I remember when I played car racing games, I would change the physics to make the car like a fraction of its weight, and therefore the engine would be accelerating me so much faster than everyone else.
When I had Oblivion on Xbox and I put like thousands of hours into it as a kid or teenager. I don't know when it came out anymore. And then when I first got it on PC, I like couldn't play it on PC because I couldn't stop myself using console commands.
Haha.
This is exactly what Janeway's doing here. She can't stop herself from just basically ruining the game.
I mean, if your lover snores, put in earplugs. Like, if you really care about them and all that. What the heck? Put on headphones. So she just cut him off, like off cam. It's crazy.
Yeah, she ghosted him.
she totally played games with his heart. He didn't even do anything.
That's crazy, right? The climbing into a tree thing. Who does that?
No, well, it's designed. First of all, he's a dramatic character, right? So it's the idea
Does
that
he have no shame?
it's just like, okay, look, Jack and Rose in Titanic, right? Like, you share the end of the ship. You say, "I'm the king of the world." You have that one moment, and she doesn't care about the rich guy that she's in love with. She'd rather have the guy who sleeps in third class with the fleas. Um,
Reroute neutrinos through the Heisenberg compensators.
Also, Titanic was 1999, so he may be doing the whole Leo thing. Oh wait, Titanic was 97, actually. Yeah, 1997.
Wait, 1,000 kilometers? Shouldn't they be able to get out at impulse in like half a second? Can't they just leave?
Impulse is 1/4 the speed of light, or 1/2 the speed of light. Like,
Which, in terms of 1,000 kilometers, is basically infinity.
wait, hang on.
I really want an external shot showing that the neutronic wave is like twice the height of the ship, and they could have just gone over it. Residual?
Yeah.
Wait, what is this? Why does it have residual ion? What does the sonic shower do?
The sonic shower ionizes the air.
It turns the air into a plasma, so all the dirt is burned off your body.
It ionizes the dirt, and then it magnetically. Oh, we're out of the nebula.
Yeah, we did it. We're done.
Oh, so this contributes to the breakdown that happens later.
How come none of the people are glitching? Is that because it would be too hard to CG?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god,
Really?
a person glitched out.
Save the people.
My work has a notification system where it'll play a sound effect through speakers. All of the sound effects are Star Trek sounds, and that Voyager door chime is one of them. So I'm just hearing that all day, every day.
That's it. That's funny.
And apparently I was the only person there when I started who recognized that those were Star Trek sounds. Interesting that that panel isn't backlit. It looks hard to read.
She owes him an apology.
Do you apologize to people who don't exist?
Yeah.
Did you apologize to all those people you murdered in Call of Duty?
I didn't disappear on them, at least.
Oh, that's okay. You just shot them. You didn't ghost them.
It made them ghosts.
Yeah, I literally ghosted them. So he doesn't notice he's not in.
Because he's programmed not to, except when it's convenient for the plot for him to notice.
This is dumb though, because see, and the crazy thing is, Picard would do the exact same thing. Every time you find someone who you actually gel with, you find a reason to step away.
You're not helping Janeway. Could you just give him like a reason? Come on.
Yeah, give him a reason. Tell him. She said you were just passing through town, so
Lie to him if you have to.
yeah. Did you see Boardwalk Empire, Ryan?
No.
It's with Steve Buscemi. It's about Irish Americans. And they were all poor immigrants, so they really had to stick together. Also rely on like criminal bosses to do like local justice and stuff. But and they're still very Irish because they just come from there. Still very poor, fleeing a famine.
So now she can't come back for 6 or 7 weeks. Okay, what's she gonna do? Only the behavioral ones, not the appearance ones.
Or the smell ones.
What happens? Wait. If Janeway like got married to Sullivan and then she said delete the wife, would the computer kill her? Because it can probably dematerialize regular matter, right?
Assume so.
In the holodeck?
Yeah.
Can't.
Okay. Now, the actual best episode of today, Blink of an Eye. Top rated on IMDb. And I tend to agree. I think this is probably the best episode of Voyager. Even though the ending has major plot holes. Classic Star Trek.
No way.
Is there a better Voyager episode? I mean, there are a bunch of them that I really, really like, but I think this one might be the best. I'm thinking of like the one where the doctor goes to that hospital that lets poor people die. That one's really good.
Yeah.
Not the letting the poor people die bit. That's not so good.
Yeah.
Author's really good. Pretty much all the Doctor episodes, really. Tinker Tenor Doctor Spy, Body and Soul, pressing play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play is really good.
This is the only time. You know, yeah. I was watching. Yanis Varoufakis is an economist who's like left wing in Europe, but he was also Greek finance minister for a hot minute in like 2013 when the Eurozone was about to collapse. And he references this Star Trek episode to explain like some economic theory. But how like time can travel differently when you're up in the space in orbit than for us down below. But Star Trek has great explanatory power. I mean, sci-fi in general.
Oh, this is another episode where we get to see some primitive aliens. not just these ones, but like even when they advance going on,
Like
where
us.
eventually we still consider them primitive, even though they're clearly more advanced than current Earth,
Yeah, but
2023 Earth.
they're still backward though. We're pretty backward, right?
Oh yeah, super. What is that? What is that fruit?
We can't even go half the speed of light.
We can't even travel to other planets. What kind of trash species are we?
We can't even harness the power of our sun. Um. So ancient people did observe supernova, and it's kind of crazy that like we have it recorded in like
We have a
astronomical
literal
records.
cave painting of a supernova.
Kind of crazy.
I mean, it's not super subtle when they happen, generally.
And it's about like if you calculate, it's about once every 5,000 years or so, 6,000 years.
God, I hope Beetlejuice explodes soon.
That'd be cool.
I want Beetlejuice. Well, I want it to have already exploded, I guess. But I want Beetlejuice to be able to see the explosion in the next, like, 60 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably won't, but, I hope. It's far enough away that it won't kill us, so that's always good.
Yeah, that's the thing. If it shoots, if it's close to us, it'll rain
We die.
particles. Yeah, like the everything. Yeah, but
We also have a trash sun. Our sun sucks. It won't even go supernova.
Yeah.
It's like
Why,
a one-star sun.
what'll happen when it gains
It just
critical mass?
expands and sloughs off some outer layers, and then it just kind of dies.
Some stars turn to solid diamond.
That doesn't sound right. Because stars reach the end of their life cycle when they start fusing iron, or when they start fusing things into iron, rather, because they can't really fuse stuff beyond iron because it's a net loss of energy, so they just die. So I'd expect things that
Iron
slough
is
off their outer layers to at most have an iron core.
gotcha. Iron is what number element?
I don't bloody know. It's
Pretty far up
Fe.
there.
Does that help?
A lot more than carbon.
Yeah, so I'm saying carbon would be diamonds.
Right, but they would have fused up. The carbon would have fused away, though. They would have burned the carbon.
Okay.
I mean, there still be a lot of the heavier elements. It's just a matter of, is there enough in the core to maintain fusion and energy gain? Because at some point... Okay, here's how stars work. Eventually, stars, the fusion rate slows down because they can't fuse the iron. So the outward pressure decreases from the core onto the rest of it. So it starts doing gravitational collapse. And when it gravitationally collapses, it kind of has a nice ricochet effect and kind of explodes.
Boing.
It goes not great. Yeah, stars literally boing to death.
Yep.
So there will still be some carbon, but I would...
Yeah, and
Oh,
like you
where
said,
is
there's
iron?
still some fusion going on, right? It's just
not enough
you're-
to
you're
maintain the
right.
outward
Yeah,
pressure.
Yeah. It's not a net gain in energy, yeah.
right, and continue the fusion reaction.
The outward pressure of the fusion has to counteract the gravity so the star doesn't die, and then when it stops, it dies.
The scale is like impossible to fathom, actually.
Oh, hang on. I'm thinking of another problem with the plot of this episode. Later on, they're going to talk about, like, oh, these planets are made with, like, twice as much steel as Earth buildings. What's up with that? What's going on? Oh, they're reinforcing against earthquakes. That's not how you reinforce against earthquakes, though. Well, I mean, it can be. But typically, you just make things out of something that's a little bendy.
Here they say Voyager's become a third pole for the planet.
Okay. So, how long? Each second is about a day. This episode is 43 minutes long. How much time passes?
There's 3,600 seconds in an hour. So let's just call it an hour because there's commercials.
So, okay. There are a total of 2,580 seconds in this episode, which means 2,580 days,
Plus commercials.
which means
plus commercials.
plus commercials, and who knows how long those take.
Uh-huh.
So, if this whole episode is real time, it would be about 7 years on the planet.
So it's presumably
seven.
not.
No, but it accelerates. Like something they do makes the planet spin faster and accelerate. Plus,
I think it's more that the writers just didn't really do the math on it.
They never do.
Plus some implied time jumps, but not that long, not like years.
no, I mean,
Not on
we
Voyager anyway.
we can't even imagine cosmic distances, so
I can imagine simple arithmetic.
Yeah, but like if I saw somebody trying to make a scale model of the solar system, and you need acres and acres and acres of they have to go in the middle of the California desert to like find a space big enough to get up to Neptune and all that. So same thing, geological time, 4 billion years ago. How many seconds is that? Per second. You're gonna be waiting a long time, even when
I'm
you
doing
compress.
some more math. So it'll
But I
take
don't
them
know
a
if
few
it's-
days,
not-
a few
not worried
hours.
about geological time because they're
Oh.
already anatomically modern
I mean,
humans.
Yeah, but I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like that's my point, though. It's for us, like imagining 6,000 years of human history is just as difficult as imagining 100,000 years or 300 million years of evolution. It's like, don't hold your breath.
Okay, here's some more math. If Voyager is stuck on this planet for a week, that would be about 1,600 years. That does sound more plausible.
Sounds about
I mean,
right.
except for the bit where there's Stone Age. But like going from here onward, that would make sense for about 1,600 years.
Yeah. They must be Bronze Age. They wouldn't be that Stone Age.
They looked pretty Stone Age in the first shot.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, if you just change that to Bronze Age or something, it would
That would make more sense.
line up a little bit better.
So just some slight tweaks.
I like that though. This is like Saint Francis of Assisi, medieval.
I wonder why it's called fire fruit. Is that just a pepper? Is it spicy?
No, it's because they witnessed the supernova when the
No, it was
Voyager-
already called a fire fruit in the Stone Age before Voyager.
Okay.
So
True.
I
Yeah.
would bet it's just spicy. It tastes like hot.
This also reminds me of there's the cargo cult in Pacific, the islands. So U.S. cargo planes flew over these remote Pacific islands where there were these, I don't want to say primitive, but not technologically advanced people, and they thought the cargo planes were like gods, and especially when they were dropping cargo supplies like cans of soup, Campbell's soup or something. So they drew pictures of the cargo plane, and they talked about the visions of the gods that flew over them. Because that's the only way they could conceptualize, like something that could fly and make an annoying noise like a plane engine.
What do you mean an annoyed noise? Airplanes have a cool noise.
Well, if you never heard it before, you'd rather listen to something else. But Star Trek Beyond, or one of the Chris Pine movies.
Yeah, they draw the picture of the Enterprise in the dirt.
Yeah, the same
rises out of the sea like a
same
monster.
the same idea. Like, you just witnessed this thing, you have no idea what it is, but you're gonna record it in your mythology that like the day.
Yeah, so this ruler, he can't write, can he? this leader of a nation is illiterate?
That's the way it used to be.
And they're writing in English. Wow. You can actually read what it says.
They evolved the same.
Like,
Yeah.
I know in the past the peasantry weren't big on literacy. It was all about the upper class. But I would expect a literal king to be able to. Was that not how it worked?
No, I think at the beginning it was mostly like priests, depending. Well, but yeah, in the medieval era, they should have some letters. But I was reading though, so the Lombardic people of Italy, they were the only people to have both uppercase and lowercase letters in their alphabet, and that was considered too complex for like the kings to learn, like even the children of kings. So it's funny because in English we teach our kids both capital and lowercase letters, and it's normal. But most languages don't have both. So historically, it's been that way sometimes.
Unrelated. One of the actors who released the balloon, I'm pretty sure he's going to show up again later in the episode as like a modern age guy. My god, it's Chicago. Wait, no, this is Star Trek. My god, it's LA.
Yeah.
So you have witches causing their earthquakes.
Yeah, they're supporting their buildings with like 10 times the amount of iron. Just build it out of wood. It's super easy. It's bendy. It's fine. It might take a little while, like a few days for it to self-destruct. Oh good, it didn't even self-destruct. It just burned up. Good, good.
Oh, also,
Okay, now this is modern Earth. Well, maybe like modern Earth from their
50s.
perspective in the 1990s.
50s. Oh wow.
It's the Voyager. Yeah, I think this guy, the astronomer man, I think he was the one of the balloon guys.
Oh, so they're like running SETI.
Well, yes, but also no, because it's not a search for extraterrestrial life. It's just right there.
Mm-hmm.
We can see it.
Oh,
It's just
we only discovered the Milky Way galaxy in like 1927 or so. We had no idea how big the universe was or is, until the modern age, like right where these guys are. And once we
Well, we knew
discovered,
Milky Way was a thing, but yeah.
so once we
but
discovered
people there was
our
debate
galaxy,
around whether it was the entire universe is the Milky Way or if there
yeah,
are
yeah,
Right.
other
And
galaxies.
whether
Then-
Andromeda was a separate galaxy or just a nebula.
Then it turns out like we're not the only galaxy,
Right.
and that was another expansion of our.
It turned out that Hubble was right, and that
Remember, if you're
Yeah.
ever
Andromeda was a
feeling
separate
unimportant in
galaxy.
life, just think about how you're materially insignificant in the universe and nothing we do will ever matter to anything in the galaxy. And those thoughts should subside.
And then come watch Star Trek with us, and we'll go out with a laugh.
Ooh, I like the handles. God, I should install handles in my house. It shakes here a lot. I guess these people have not learned to just hide under a desk. Desks are great.
I think like they mentioned, it just causes them tremors when they walk. So it's only like 2.0 on the Richter scale.
That looked... I mean, it definitely looked higher than a 2, but it wasn't severe. Ah, they can speak your language through magical plot convenience. That's how.
I like later when they sent fighter jets after Voyager.
I kind of like. I haven't watched the Star Wars shows. I kind of like the idea of just other species just not speaking English, and that's fine. They just make lots of weird
But
noises
everyone
to get
still understands
subtitles.
all other languages except Wookiee. And sometimes droid. Why don't droids speak Galactic Basic? Why do they have to beep and boop?
Yeah.
A lot of droids do. Why don't astromechs? What's the deal? Yeah, I think they might have seen you, Chakotay. I think they know you're here. So I have tried actually like getting that sound clip of the super fast speaking and slowing it down. Couldn't do it. Couldn't make it work.
Mm.
It's worked for TNG and TOS. That it's either too fast for me to slow it down, there's too much data loss, or it's just gibberish in the first place.
Yeah.
But I don't expect it's gibberish. I think it's just too fast. They have this speech anyway, so, might as well just use it. How does the Prime Directive still apply? They know you're here. They can see your starship. They're going to be warp capable in like 30 minutes, Tuvok. That can't be right. So nearly a century. Let's say 90 years. How many days is that? 365. Let's include leap days. 32,000, say 33,000 days. 60 seconds. 550 minutes. So they sent the message about 9 hours ago in Voyager reference frame. Honestly, I don't know how the Doctor would even know this. How do they have the data to decide? Do they have experience shifting to different time frames in that way? "26 states on the planet." So I'm wondering if the implication there is that it's either much smaller than Earth or it's much more united than Earth, because we definitely have a lot more than 26 states.
We have like what, over 200 countries, right?
I don't even know. Let me Google. How many countries are there? 195. Though a couple of those might be there might be a couple countries that aren't recognized.
Yes,
Like,
it
does that
definitely
include
depends on who you
Taiwan?
ask.
Does Puerto Rico count as a country?
Mm.
Sure, this will go well. Should be good. Okay, 3, so it should have been 3 days. I'm I'm wondering what this looks like on the planet. If the Doctor's just kind of like hanging out, phasing
Yeah.
in place for like a week. God, Janeway, you had one job. Maybe if we use the actual transporter chief instead of the random engineer. Miles O'Brien wouldn't have lost him. Wait. Okay, so this is one of those things where, yes, the episode is amazing, 10 out of 10, but I have so many questions. Like, is he just living in the concert hall? Because hypothetically, he should just be moving super fast back and forth between the concert hall and his home, right? 1 second is a full day? What's the... Years. Over 3, okay. 3 years times 365 days in a year. We're doing more math. That's 1,095 days. We've established that 1 day is about 1 second. So do a little rounding, 1,100 days. So the Doctor was gone for about 18 minutes in Voyager time.
Boy, he doesn't. He seems to be taking it awfully much in stride that his life has just been taken away from him. Like, I'd be kind of sad in the situation.
Especially because
Like,
he
he
has
clearly made friends.
a wife and son. Oh, I'm sorry, Bolano. Did you not consider that the magical starship hanging out in the sky
Yeah.
might not affect them? Girlfriend. You wouldn't know her, Captain. She lives on another
Okay.
planet.
I was gonna say.
Hang on, Janeway doesn't even care about... Come on, what happened to the Prime Directive? Isn't that a violation? You made a big deal of it in the briefing room.
I mean, I don't know. It's risky making friends, having relationships with the people, but not necessarily violation.
How did he explain
If
that
you're
to
going to keep
her?
it secret.
How did he explain that he can never take off the jewelry on his arm?
That's true. Good question.
How does he have a son? He's not capable of that.
Adoptive?
Did Maritza cheat on him or is he adopted? Yeah, what's the deal?
Also, why is he? Why isn't he taking this a little bit harder, being taken away from all of
Yeah, she's just a... She's a solid.
it?
Naomi Wildman. Subunit Vincent Samantha Wildman. And that's why I called it the Weird Planet in the stream title. It's all coming together.
Of course.
Oh, the Weird Planet displaced in time. I forgot about the last part. Okay, so how many seconds is this? It started at 23. I want to see how many weeks this planet had one continuous earthquake. 10 days so far. 15 days of earthquakes. 20 days. Okay, 22 or 23 straight days of a single earthquake. Be a little unpleasant. It's one of the Makos. What's his name again? Corporal Chang? No, I think I might be thinking of... Oh no, it is Chang. I thought maybe I was thinking of the Klingon general guy. Oh, I should try slowing down the transmission from Mission Command or whatever it's called. See if that makes sense. I like how their windows are set up such that they can't look back and see their planet that doesn't make any physical sense. Now it's a Taurus.
Oh, there's still some left of this episode.
Yes. The bit
I
with
made it just
Corporal
in
Chang.
time. Corporal Chang.
Yeah, he's one of the
Corporal Chang
Makos.
from Makos. Okay.
He's pretty cool. He's a good Mako.
Our scans won't penetrate their hull.
What do their scans consist of? It's just like a camera, right? Infrared camera? What are we looking at?
They might have infrared, X-ray. They might have some rudimentary sensors, maybe electromagnetic. But to your point, yeah, all Voyager had to do is just hang out here for a couple more days, and they could probably send them home.
Yeah, it'd be super easy.
Barely an inconvenience.
This species, as I said at the start of the stream, this species has either died immediately after this episode, like they killed themselves, or they became the most technologically advanced species in the entire universe.
Right?
And they're just isolationists, I guess. They just hang out at home.
Well, they can't really explore the galaxy, can they?
They can. They say at the end of the episode they've figured out a way to leave. Or they're close to a way. Everyone stand very still. Look out for blinking. See if anyone moves. I don't like that their spacesuits have udders.
Real spacesuits have that.
I don't like it though. They look like they're in cow suits.
Maybe they do. Maybe they've got... I think what's more important is it's got this odd, rigid bulge kind of swaying a little lower than the others.
Oh, that's the guy from Lost. Okay,
The guy from Lost.
I know they can. Yeah.
Oh, he is in Lost. Okay. Wow, they could tell from the door that it's the command center? Impressive.
Well, from the layout of the ship. So imagine you're on the bridge and all of a sudden the doors snap open and like there's just this
Yeah.
yellow blur, yellow blur across the bridge.
How are they
mean,
breathing?
And how is the door opening so quickly for them?
Well, to answer your question, how they're breathing,
Oh,
the same way they
they're
open the
not very
door.
well.
So they they are able to move the door, so it stands to reason they'd be able to move the air molecules.
The door moves itself. Or do they force
This
it
one
over?
they pushed
I don't
open.
They
remember.
forced it open.
Oh,
They
never
forced
mind.
it open. So they're able to interact
It's on
with
me for not paying
things.
attention.
Yeah, how do you think they got in?
I don't know how they got in. I don't know how any of this makes sense. The matter is frozen in a different time stream. Surely, if when they forced it open, it would be moving so fast that it would like catch fire.
How many years did he say?
I don't know.
300 years? What was it?
It's 1 day per second. Make of that what you will. Oh, Daniel Day Kim's a smart cookie. I wanted to say Lewis. He's not Daniel Day Lewis.
Yeah, I know this actor from Lost too.
And 24 and a couple other things. Yeah.
Enterprise. He's from Enterprise.
Enterprise.
But you're right though, Ryan. They have to be the most technologically advanced species ever.
Or
But,
they
you know,
destroyed themselves.
or they're still under the shackles of religious fundamentalism or something like that.
I mean, they got this far.
They're more advanced
they're fine.
than Voyager at the end of the episode. They've already.
You know what you reminded me of though, Ryan? I just learned there's a theory that the reason we don't detect any radio signals or something else from other parts of the galaxy or the
It's
universe.
because all the other intelligent species are in hiding because of the monstrous force lurking in the dark.
Yes, so they're
We're-
smart enough to not broadcast their existence to any predatory species
Yeah,
that might
they're
exist.
smart enough. They're smart enough to avoid species like us.
Yeah, no, and also they don't.
Well, that
they
doesn't explain why we haven't heard from the predatory species then.
Well, they're smart enough to not assume everybody is as friendly as they are or we are.
Jinx, we haven't heard from the predatory species yet because they're not going to announce themselves before the invasion.
Once they
Okay,
come,
fair enough.
there's no way.
It'll take them some time to get here. Give them a minute. So what are we thinking? Are we thinking like Reapers, Flood, just humans
Fast
V2?
Also, Ryan,
Yeah, Adam Driver.
When you talk about the earthquake for like 22 days straight, when we had like the 30-second pass on Voyager. So Pliny the Younger talks about when Mount Vesuvius exploded, what it was after like a catastrophic volcano eruption. So the ground doesn't stop shaking for days. So much soot is in the air. Everything is pitch black. And everyone's screaming and crying for their loved ones in the dark. And this goes on for days and days and days. And you think the world's literally ended, and somehow you're just still walking around listening to people scream in the dark. So I mean, so as I'm sure you know though, but earthquakes, they are phenomenons that go on for days. So it's pretty crazy.
What season, Doctor? It's been years. They're dead. Okay, so they still do exile. Good.
Why does he know anything about this if he's a pilot?
Don't worry about it. Because Daniel Day Kim is a smart cookie.
He works for NASA, so he has the latest maps, and Voyager's working with medieval maps.
So if they want to follow Voyager, it takes them like 300 years to leave the planet, send a ship out to go find them, and Voyager is like 200 feet away. It's basically just right there.
Oh, they're launching weapons at us.
Something tells me maybe they will not, in fact, go to follow Voyager. Maybe they're not interested. Wow. Nice. They didn't even send a nuke first. Full on antimatter.
Yeah, they're way smarter than us.
So, based on the rate we're seeing here, they're launching missiles like multiple a day.
This should just
It's
be
like
a
3
blur.
missiles a day.
Yeah, this part makes no sense because
Their missiles must really suck if Voyager's shields are still fine.
Couldn't they take a couldn't they compress a message, like speed it up and send it so that they would be like, hey, just stop and wait.
Take a chill pill.
oh, there's our resident anthropologist Chicote. But yeah, there's no way you could have a battle with someone who's 3,600 times slower than you.
So this next part feels like if we suddenly got a message saying, "This is a space shuttle Challenger coming in for a landing." It's like, what do you mean? Where did you come from? What happened?
Yeah. But also
As far
give
as
it
they
like
know,
another.
this guy died like 200 years ago.
Yeah, give it another 100 years, so it'd be like Apollo 13 is back or something, like her.
It's a
How
long
does he have a
story.
son?
Maybe
How does
I'm
this
his
work?
great grandson.
He could just said adoptive. That's the only explanation that makes any sense.
No, he's a
I
doctor,
think
dude.
Maritza cheated on him.
He cooked up his own special sauce
Yeah,
and
Nope.
could be.
he
No.
made some modifications to his hollow matrix so he could deliver it.
You found the weather station. You did it.
So this reminds me of the episode we watched last week where we have the Mars astronaut. But it's cool for Star Trek to represent an early space program.
Oh my god, weather lady, come on.
I mean,
You get a mysterious astronaut coming in from the spaceship and you're not even interested?
Mark Watney over here.
So at this point, the dude is in the time frame of his planet. So
True.
it took him, what, like 10 days to convince them to stop shooting?
I think they said 50 years, but yeah.
Well, 50 years since his
Okay.
mission, which was a while.
Yeah.
10 minutes a year. Wait, what? That's not right.
Try cobalt devices.
Oh no, that's
Watch
right.
out for falling rocks any minute now.
Wow, Voyager, do you want to just like hang out for another day? Look, they have spaceships now.
Wait. Did they just violate the Prime Directive by giving them the specification, giving them the blueprints, all the specifications
Shut
and
up.
diagrams that sent it
After-
home?
They'd
all
already-
the specs and diagrams.
Or they were already developing warp travel, so at least they were already warp capable or about to be anyway.
And also, once you violate the Prime Directive, you've already broken the pottery. So there's no point in
Oh, hey,
I
Daniel.
disagree.
That's not true. Like you can always make it worse.
No, they
Yeah.
already think that you're the new star in the sky that causes earthquakes.
So I
That doesn't mean you
rewatched
can now give them warp travel. That doesn't.
I
no,
rewatched
does not
Who Watches
follow.
the Watchers recently,
Yeah,
and
Mintakans.
the scientist guy's main point was like, look, yes, if you go down and talk to them, it will slightly increase the contamination, but it's already contaminated. You already broke the Prime Directive.
Yeah, you
Yeah, but
already,
slightly. Like
but
giving them warp technology. If they weren't already clearly testing warp technology, giving them warp technology would have been more than slightly worse.
the Mintakan parallel is very apt because look, we are not gods. We are just mortals like you.
Speak for yourself.
But can we get some of this transporter technology?
Can we have one of their ships?
It's against their Prime Directive.
Oh,
Right.
your whole thing is a prime directive.
They're gonna sue the Federation for all that property damage.
Your whole civilization is a prime directive violation.
Oh, sad Daniel.
Great job, though. Good episode.
So that was the highest rated Voyager episode according to IMDb. And yeah, really good. Massive implications and plot holes based on the end of the episode.
You know,
But really, really good episode.
you ruin everything, Ryan.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Okay, so what's going on next? I don't know. Let me open up my playlist.
We got more Lucky Charms.
What do you have against Ireland?
Yeah.
Nothing. It was a good premise. It's just I think like the fact that Starfleet lets the holodeck take over the ship in every series is something
It
that
didn't take over the ship. It took over the captain's heart.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
you know,
so next week, Virtuoso, which is, I think that's the one, yeah, that's the one where the doctor teaches the civilization how to sing, and they obsess over him until they make a better doctor,
yeah.
and he gets sad.
No, but he's
Memorial?
respected for his musical talents for once.
Briefly. So Memorial, where everyone on the ship starts hallucinating that they're in the middle of a war, and specifically that they're committing war crimes and they get traumatized. And they decide at the end of the episode, no, we should leave this traumatization machine here. We should let other passing
Well,
ships get traumatized.
They put a warning that lets everybody know what they're in for if they go near it.
God, I hope some other species finds the warning. It's like, okay, yeah, we'll just blow it up. That's fine. And then, most importantly, next week, we get Hirogen Martok and Dwayne the Spock Johnson. Dwayne Johnson wrestles 7 of 9, who is being trained by Martok.
Who wouldn't wrestle 7 of 9?
WWE, WWF was like really big at the time. So, and also UPN, which is the channel for Star Trek Voyager, was the same channel for the WWF. So this was all one big corporate sponsorship.
It was a cross promotion. Yes.
Yeah. But thank you, Ryan. Nice seeing you, Gyrinx and Robo.
So, in addition to there being Dwayne Johnson and Martok, there is also the guy whose name I literally just knew 3 seconds ago, who plays Wayun, Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs is
could you
also a
forget
main
Jeffrey
character in that
Is
episode.
he really?
Yeah, he's
he's
he's the fight
Rock
coordinator.
episode.
Wow.
Here, let me put a picture of him on the
We'll
screen.
see. We'll see next week. Save the anticipation.
No, screw the anticipation. This is him.
Oh, I never knew.
Yeah, it's Jeffrey. He's cool.
Catfish whiskers.
All right, that's next week though. This week is it's done. We're done. Everybody, make sure to watch episode 8 of The Last of Us today. It's in about 3.5 hours.
Oh, I haven't watched any of Last of Us.
No, it's airing it's airing later here. I think that's annoying.
Is it any good?
Like a week and a half behind or something. It's so good. Holy crap, is it good? Yes.
Is it worth my time?
Yes.
I mean, it's a good TV show, so if TV shows are worth your time, then sure.
It's so good.
But yeah, the week shall perish.